Hey guys, it's Tiffany here, and today's video is going to be my miscarriage story. So I decided to make this video because I document a lot of major things that happen in my life, and I feel like this is, obviously one of them. It's not the happiest, but it's something that I may not necessarily want to look back on, but just to have it so that it's there and to just recall what happened if I want to or if I need to. And also for other women who may have experienced what I did, or so just so you guys can relate to me, and so I just want to share my story on here. If you follow my vlog channel, Daily Davidsons, then you may know that I had a miscarriage 3 months ago, so back in June. And I'll start off with my appointment where I found out. So I went in to, your normal maternity checkup. So I get in the room and he does the ultrasound, and he's looking around and he's kind of quiet. And he says, "How many weeks did we say that you were again?" And I said, I believe it was supposed to be 9 or 10 weeks. And he said, well, he didn't say anything. He just started looking, and he said he got quiet again and was looking, and I could kind of I couldn't really sense that there was something wrong, because I have three children, and I've had ultrasound before, and sometimes it's hard, when the baby's moving a lot, it's kind of hard to pick up a heartbeat. And then he says the last time we came in, the baby had a heartbeat, and I was like, yeah. Is there not one now? And he said no, I'm having trouble finding it. And then he kept looking, and then he kept looking, and he just said, I'm sorry. He said, I'm sorry, but there's not a heartbeat anymore. And at this point, I didn't cry right then and there, because if you follow my vlog channel, you know that entire month before, I was dealing with a lot. I had just lost my father. His funeral was I think maybe a couple days before that, me finding out about the baby. So basically, he went out of the room, and I got dressed or whatever, and then he came back in. So he comes back in the room, and he starts telling me what my options are. And he says that I could wait to miscarry naturally. I can take a pill which would make me miscarry, and I take that pill and I go home, and I guess I miscarry soon after I take that pill. Or I can do a D&C, and that's where they go in and they suction the baby out, and they put you to sleep, and they suction the baby out, and then you go home. So I just was so overwhelmed and shocked and just numb. I just had I don't know. I had so many emotions, and yeah. So I couldn't give him an answer right then and there. He's like, you can come back in I think tomorrow or in a couple days. I can't remember exactly, and you can let me know. We'll go from there. So, and also when he came back in, I asked him if stress could have caused it, because I had just lost my dad and I was stressing out. And he said, no, there was nothing you did that could have caused it. And I kind of feel like he was just telling me that so that I didn't feel guilty. But I truly believe that because I was stressing the entire month, that had to have something to do with it, because I was I was in the hospital with my dad every day since he had gotten in there, and that was how many weeks was it? 2 weeks. And I think out of those 2 weeks, I wasn't there with him for 2 days. So just being in that environment and crying really hard almost every single day, hyperventilating at one point when I had saw my dad in the hospital having a seizure, just dealing with all that. I feel like that I truly believe that had something to do with it. But it just wasn't the right timing. So yeah, that's what I believe. So I go home, or I leave the office, and I get in the car and I call TJ and I just start bawling, and I just sit in the car for a little bit. And I call him and tell him that the baby doesn't have a heartbeat anymore, and yeah, I'm just like, I have gone through so much, and I can't even believe that this is even happening. Like, it's insane. So yeah, so I go home and I research, what my option, what option I should do. And so I ended up coming to the decision that I should do a D&C, because one, I didn't want to wait it out, because the doctor said that because I didn't have any symptoms of a miscarriage. I wasn't bleeding, I wasn't cramping, I didn't have any symptoms. So he said, because my body still thinks that it's pregnant, that I could go on for a month without miscarrying, because my body just thinks that it's pregnant, and it's not, the baby's just not coming out, it's just not growing. So, and I just was thinking that I can't go a month with this, like, knowing that there's babies inside of me, and just, I just can't, and just anticipating it coming out. So that option was off the list. Then there was the option of taking the pill and then miscarrying. And with the research with that, I found out that some people do that, but they still end up having to go do a D&C, because not everything goes out, not everything comes out. Like, there's still, I guess, like, pieces or whatever that's left in you that just doesn't come out. And I was like, I just want to do a D&C, so that I know that everything is out. And yeah, I just felt like that was the best option for me to do. So I called the nurse, and she's like, you can come in, I think like the next day or the day after, and we'll do the procedure. So that the day of the D&C, I went in. It was super, super early. I think it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I had to fill out paperwork and stuff. And then they did blood work. They did another ultrasound. Obviously, the baby still didn't have a heartbeat. And then they rolled me back into like a little room, and they put me on like a surgical table. My arms were out. They were strapped down. So I guess that's just what they do, so they don't touch anything. The lady put an oxygen mask on my face, and I just was looking up at a like really, really bright light, and next thing I know, I was knocked out. And then I was waking up and in like the recovery room, and I got to go home. So that was pretty much my miscarriage story. So now, as far as like how I feel about trying for another baby, and another thing that I want to talk about is, I guess, announcing pregnancy. So I had a pregnancy, not scare, but pregnancy. I thought I was pregnant recently, and we posted in a vlog, and somebody commented and said that, why don't you shouldn't take pregnancy tests unless you know you're pregnant, and then don't announce it until you're like 12 weeks or something. So I want to talk about that, because I feel as though there's no right or wrong time to announce when you're pregnant. If you want to announce that you're pregnant, the minute that you find out, then I feel like by all means do it. You know what I'm saying? You should not have to. You should celebrate life whenever. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait till you're 12 weeks. You shouldn't have to not share it because you're afraid that it won't work out. I don't know. And then I feel like if you want to wait till 12 weeks and because you're in that safe zone, then by all means do that. But I don't think women should have to hide it. If they are to have a miscarriage, then that's not something to be ashamed about. That's I feel like I would rather share it and get the support and prayers from people, instead of hiding it and going through it alone, because having a miscarriage, it sucks. It's not fun. And just having like that support system from everybody, for me it really did feel good. I don't know, I couldn't imagine going through it alone, and not sharing it with you guys. But yeah, so as far as like my next pregnancy, if I do get pregnant, if it's in God's plans that I get pregnant again, obviously there's that scare of, that could possibly happen. But you know what? You just have to pray and know that whatever happens, it's God's plan, and you just have to go with it. Like that's just it. It is what it is, But yeah, so as far as when I would announce, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll announce when I first find out, or maybe I'll wait until I'm comfortable with sharing. I've been through so much. Some things I might just want to keep it until however many weeks. I don't know, but yeah. So as far as that, I feel like, if you want to share your pregnancy early when you first find out, then do it. But I don't feel like women should have to hide it until they're in the safe zone, because miscarriages are not something to be ashamed about. They are more common than you may think. 1 in 4 women will experience a miscarriage, and that's a lot. Like it's awful how common it is, but it is. And so now when we were first trying to get pregnant, I was like really, my mindset was like, I want this so bad. Like I'm excited. Let's do this. Like, what if I don't get pregnant? What if I do get pregnant this month? It's just, I had like all of these overwhelming emotions because I like wanted it so bad. And so now don't get me wrong. I want it bad, but now I have like a more relaxed mindset. So I'm just more like, if it happens this month, it happens. If it doesn't, we'll try again. So yeah, I feel like losing my father and having this miscarriage kind of made my mindset like that. I don't know, but I've been praying more, and I've been getting more like closer to God, and I just feel like if it's in His plans for me to have another baby, then I will. If not, then I have 3 beautiful, healthy boys that I absolutely love and adore so much. But yeah, if y'all have any questions for me, let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in my next video. Love you guys. Bye.